नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment, Shloka number 40. Yad api dig iva jaino yajvino ye vai rajarashaya kim tu param mrade shari no shairan ashyam eva mameyam iti krita vairanu bandhayam vishrijya swayam upasamkrita. Okay, what do I mean? Yagapi, although dik iva jahiraha, who are victorious in all directions, yajvinaha, expert in performing great sacrifices, yea, all of whom, by indeed, Rajarashayah, very great saintly kings, Kim tu, but Param, only this earth, Mride, in battle, Shairan, lying down, Asyam, on this earth, Eva, indeed, Mama, mine, Iyam, this, Iti, considering in that way, Krita, on which is created, Vaira Anubandhayam, a relationship of enmity with others, Vishrijya, giving up, Swayam, his own life, Upasamkritha, being killed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. There were many great saintly kings who were very expert in performing sacrificial rituals and very competent in conquering other kingdoms. Yet despite their power, they could not attain the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is because those great kings could not even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body and this is my property. Thus they simply created enmity with rival kings, fought with them and died without having discharged life's real mission. Purport. The real mission of life for the conditioned soul is to re-establish the forgotten relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service so that he may revive Krishna consciousness after giving up the body. One doesn't have to give up his occupation as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or whatever. In any position, while discharging this prescribed duty, one can develop Krishna consciousness simply by associating with the devotees who are representatives of Krishna and who can teach this science. Regretfully, the big politicians and leaders in the material world simply create enmity and are not interested in spiritual advancement. Material advancement may be very pleasing to an ordinary man, but ultimately he is defeated because he identifies himself with the material body and considers everything related to it to be his property. This is ignorance. Actually, nothing belongs to him, not even the body. By one's karma, one gets a particular body, and if he does not utilize his body to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all his activities are frustrated. The real purpose of life is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-13. Atha Punga Dvaja Shrestha Varanashama Vibhagasha Svanishtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haridoshanam. It really doesn't matter what activity a man engages in. If he can simply satisfy the Supreme Lord, his life is successful. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurabhrimkamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Karine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaudatrishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasa Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here it is talked about great saintly kings and who are expert in performing sacrificial rituals and are competent in conquering other kingdoms. And then, but towards the end it is mentioned they were unsuccessful because they didn't even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body, I am everything that belongs is my property. So they simply created enmity with other kings and they fought and they died. So and they did not discharge the real mission of life. So now, how does these two things go in line? The saintly kings, and also they didn't even know that they are different from the body. So now this is to be understood that the proper discharge of the Kshatriya Dharma means to following the Varnashrama system very nicely, and also like they properly execute the rituals. They understand Krishna or Vishnu to be the ultimate and the supreme personality of Godhead, and then they also like render service to the supreme Lord. So, but then their goal is not to attain the material sovereignty. Like the goal is to execute the Kshatriya duties properly and to gain the results of the Kshatriya Dharma, or the Varnashrama Dharma. So the results of Varnashrama Dharma is Dharma, Artha, Kama, So like, so these things, primarily like, many of the people are focused upon. So these are the things that they keep as a goal. So, but it is quite rare that somebody actually aims at, Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, or Bhagavan realization. So it is quite rare, and it is possible only by the sadhu sangha. Otherwise it is not possible. So just like that, anyone cannot come to the point of attaining this particular aspect. So one of the general pathways of progression, I was in one of the classes I heard, is that generally like people have to give up their sinful habits. So because out of sinful habits, people actually meet with sufferings. So then after that, when they give up sinful habits, then they come into the system of like the material piety, that is the Varnashrama system. So the material piety gives one opportunity to properly respect the sadhus, and when they properly respect the sadhus and in the contact with the sadhus, they get the opportunity to understand or fix the real goal of life. So once they fix the real goal of life, then they start endeavoring towards the transcendental realization. And when like a person endeavors towards transcendental realization, so one important thing that needs to be done is that like anything that is sense gratificatory, it is actually pulling me down towards the material consciousness. So, and I have to be careful about it, and I have to like regulate it, or I have to give it up. So this I have to do, and then I have to actively render service to the Lord, or render or actively more technically, if I have to say, we have to say, like actively perform the angas of the particular yoga system, the practice that a person is following. So he has to diligently engage in the angas of the particular yoga system. So and the this one, the person should be like very much interested in attaining the goal, the attaining goal of eternal service to the Lord in the Bhakti Yoga and in other yoga systems like either Brahman or Paramatma. So like they have to be very, very determined to attain the goal, and they have to be very calculative about attaining this goal. So like one may be a saintly person, one may be a we can close the doors. So one may be a saintly person, one may be like following this ones and all nicely and things like that. So, but then it is all the more important to actually keep the goal fixed, in our consciousness, that I want to attain the ultimate benefit of ultimate perfection of attaining the lotus feet of the Lord. So without that, what's the point of doing various different things? So, this should be there, in mind. So we have seen, like this also, Prabhupada also mentions, like one can be there in any occupation, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and still, he can make progress in Krishna consciousness. So if he has this goal very clear in his mind, and if he is very diligent and determined to engage in the process of bhakti, process of angas of bhakti, so then he can be, he can make advancement. So, but if he doesn't have a goal, and if he doesn't have the like a goal as ultimate perfection, so then like he may be like executing the varnashrama duties nicely, or he may be executing some angas of bhakti also. So, but then he will not be able to make progress towards the desired goal, or he, first of all, goal itself is not proper. So then he will not be able to make progress towards ultimate perfection, right? So here Prabhupada is clarifying this point. The real mission of life for the conditioned soul is to re-establish the forgotten relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service, so that he may revive Krishna consciousness after giving up the body. So now, Prabhu, don't use mobile phone, Prabhu. If you want to use, you can go out, use and come back. I'll wait for you to keep it in your pocket. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Okay. So, this one thing is, like, I was reading in our By HG Prabhu's book of our family business. So in that, like, he was mentioning about how to organize, the book distribution and things like that and all. So in that, one very important aspect he was mentioning is that the goal, the setting the goal and things like that. So if we don't have a goal of distributing books, so then we will not be distributing books. And another thing he was mentioning, the importance of the leadership is that to give the purpose, to clarify the goal to the people very nicely, and to re-emphasize and to also orient the people properly, orient all the people under them properly. This is the goal, and this is how we are going to achieve this goal, and the whole plan and this one is like very nicely spelled out, and then time and again it is being oriented. So then people also will become very enthusiastic, and here we see like Prabhupada as our ultimate leader, and he is again and again clarifying this one. Our real mission of life is to re-establish our forgotten relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now, like, we may be in so much of chaos in this material world, and going through so many different problems. So, but all kinds of problems can be solved, like if we know what is the ultimate goal that we need to achieve, and what is the process that need to be followed to achieve that, and then whatever problem is happening, it's completely immaterial. It is like, it is neither connected to the process nor connected to the goal. So then immediately we become completely light, in terms of like, it is not at all like a big deal. So in fact, all the yoga systems, no, starting from jnana and dhyana and bhakti. So all of them, even in, no, for that matter, karma yoga also, all the yoga systems, it has so much of restrictions. No, if you see, like so many different restrictions are there in the process, in execution of process. And then sometimes it may appear like the transcendental realization may appear like, no, ye to milne wala nahi hai. It is like too far off. So but then in all the yoga systems, the thing that is described, or no, thing that is necessary for a practitioner to achieve the goal is that kuch bhi aa jaye, no, isko like प्राप्त करके छोड़ूंगा. No, so that one who is like in that kind of attitude, only he can make progress, no, in any of the yoga systems. So if a person is not able to have this kind of this kind of dhrida vrata, so then what happens, like like, no, going against the material nature itself is very difficult. And on top of it, the yoga systems are also putting so much of rules and regulations and things like that. तो ये बहुत आसान है उसको छोड़ के, like, no, भौतिक दुनिया में घुसने का बहुत ही आसान है. So but then it is the most difficult thing is to say that, like, nobody is going to favor the material world. Know what people will say if they are trying to make advancement towards spiritual realization. ये तो पागल है, you know, like हम जैसा enjoy कर रहा है, like वैसा enjoy करने नहीं आता है इसको. तो like, no, he is trying to do something. So they are like that. And in some cases, like cases like Guru Maharaj, you know, he wanted to attain the Lord, and Narad Muni, spiritual master, came. You know what he told? हाँ, खेलने का उम्र है, ना तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. कभी-कभी spiritual people also will come and say, तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. You know, in one lecture I heard that, no, even spiritual master first he will say like, no, तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. तब भी बोलना है कि like, no, I have to do it. I have to attain the perfection. No, उसके बाद no गुरु कृपा देंगे. No. So first proposal मान लिया तो ठीक है, लेकिन no कृपा नहीं मिलेगा, ऐसे चले जाना चाहिए. So no, this is very important. That no, I want to attain perfection. No, this is something very important. So I want to attain perfection. So if goal is fixed, and if our determination to attain the goal is fixed, so then what happens? Any difficulty that comes, no, any problems that comes, a person is able to tolerate that. No, like he is able to tolerate and he is able to achieve it. Right. So all of us are, no, expert in event organization. So Janmashtami ho, like Yatra ho, and things like that. So and every time there is some problem or other comes, but then यात्रा तो करके छोड़ना है, because no, इतना लोगों से पैसा लिया, like no, इतना लोग ट्रेन टिकट बुक करके आ रहे हैं. So like no, what happens like if you don't do it? So then it is like no, कुछ ना कुछ करके like उसको खत्म करना है हमको, and so like that. So this is also something like that. So this our attaining of perfection of no, attaining the holy name or the lotus feet of the Lord. So it is very important, you know, for a devotee. And so this is what, you know, in the sadhu sangha. So like we try to re-emphasize this particular point, and then we try to orient ourselves. This is what we want to attain, and whatever else is there, no, it is all simply useless and it is all simply insignificant. So I was trying to prepare for Bhakti Shastri. So in that it is the Dhyana Yoga section is going on. So there it is mentioned that the Dhyana Yogis, no, they, when they perform Ashtanga Yogis, when they perform their sadhana, so they get, the sadhana itself produces a lot of anarthas, no? Just like Bhakti Yogis, no, like if we do Shravan Kirtan, so along with pure devotion, no, weeds also grows, you know? So like, no, sometimes it may be seen that the devotee to like, you know, भक्त बनने के पहले अच्छा था, अभी भक्त बनने के बाद इतना बुरा क्वालिटीज किधर से आ गया इसका. So chanting से आया. No, chanting is like, no, it is what is that? Before cultivation of this field, you know, there was no weeds that were there, and अभी like अच्छा बीज उगाया, and then पानी डाल रहे हैं, और no weeds भी no grow हो रहा है. So like no, so that way like it happens. So it is the खेती करने का ये है कि like no, proper seed डालना है, और जो भी improper चीज आ रहा है उसको निकालना है. So and then पानी भी डालना है. So all these things put together is a process. No, if only if we put water, Shravan Kirtan, and if we don't remove the weeds, so then it's a problem. So if Shravan Kirtan करते हैं weeds, no, ये करते हैं, then like you know, we also need to put the proper procedures and proper process in the place. So that is when everything will give its results properly. Yeah, what's the point I was trying to make before this?
ध्यान योग,
हाँ
ध्यान योगा सेक्शन.
हाँ ध्यान योगा. So इतना भयंकर भयंकर अनर्थस आता है उसमें. So suddenly he will realize that I can become I can vanish from here and I can appear somewhere else and things like that. So in this way, very solid. These are all considered to be anarthas in the process of dhyana yoga. And still, even after that, he should dhyana yogi should be focused upon. I am sitting here trying to do meditation and all these things, trying to attain Paramatma, and I have to do that only. No, anything else comes. No, even such great powers comes. No, you should consider that to be insignificant. You should not give value to it, and you should only be aiming at the goal. No, like this goal orientation is very very essential. No, that is where the sadhu sangha, it is every time whatever comes. Sometimes there is regress happens, or sometimes there is some bad things happens, sometimes some good things happen. So whatever happens, like in the sadhu sangha, our this one is no kuch acha hua bura hua, sab chodo, हमको भगवान को प्राप्त करना है. So that is very very important. So this positioning when it is there, so then it becomes very solid, for a person to make advancement. Otherwise, like positive things also can distract us and negative things also can distract us. So all the various different ways the distractions actually come. So now, if a person is solidly fixed upon in the goal, which Prabhupada is mentioning in the first line, so then he can be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, anything, he can still make progress. So, but if he is not fixed in the goal, so then even if he is a Virat sannyasi, still he cannot make progress in his in his path. So in any position, while discharging his prescribed duty, one can develop Krishna consciousness simply by associating with devotees who are representatives of Krishna and who can teach this science. So this is this one. So devotees here specifically, this one is mentioned about devotees, and it is clearly differentiated from Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So that means devotees who are full time engaged in the service of the Lord, and they don't have any material aspiration. For such people, so they are expected to be the beacon. If our what is that brahmacharya ashram is supposed to function this particular role in the society, all others, if they can do their part of material duty, and then if they can orient themselves to this goal and then have sadhu sangha, so they will make advancement. But for all others, they need the support of sadhu sangha. So, but there needs to be a source of sadhu sangha also. So a source of sadhu sangha is what? A set of people who are staying together, who's determined only to execute the angas of bhakti, and nothing else, apart from that. So that is the sadhu sangha. It is very very essential. So that's like a powerhouse. If that is there, the whole community can actually survive. So, but if this is not there, so we may organize everything else around. So, but then the powerhouse is not there. So like that. So it is not that these people are special. So, but the process that we are following, that is very special. Uninterrupted devotional service. That is very very special. Right? So all others, they can discharge their duties and they can take association, but there needs to be a certain set of people, who are completely, engaged in the angas of bhakti. And here it is mentioned, regretfully, the big politicians and leaders in the material world simply create enmity and are not interested in spiritual advancement. Material advancement may be very pleasing to an ordinary man, but ultimately he is defeated because he identifies himself with a material body and considers everything related to it to be his property. And that is ignorance. So this is definition of ignorance. So I am this body, or anything that is connected to this body is my, it is my property. So mama and mameti. So so this is the definition of ignorance. We see that recently one of our devotees, Anurag Prabhu from PLH, he was going through a lot of difficult time. So his platelets had gone to 10,000 and it is 5th day and still it is not increasing, and even after blood transfusion, after 5th day it is expected to rise. So that's the cycle of dengue. So but then it was not coming up at all. And after transfusion also, again it came down to 7,000 and things like that. So and we did puja and things like that, and also in Nashimgiri Dari Mandir. So then after that, like last yesterday, it again started coming up and things like that. So we see that like what was the point I was mentioning? I was trying to connect this point. The previous point, very important point I wanted to establish. Definition of ignorance, yeah. So now we see that sign of the disease is that we keep checking the platelets during dengue, and the sign of the disease is the count of the lower count of the platelets. That's the sign of the disease, right? Prabhuji, I think you should keep the phone down. Notes you're taking. So, like, so this is the sign of the disease is that, here also we see that the sign of the disease is that, this matter to be like, the body to be myself, and then things that are connected to be connected to the body is one's own property. So thinking in this way, that is called the disease. So now we can see like we do the platelet check once in a while. So in that way, like we can also see the material disease check once in a while. How much I am attached to the body and how much I am attached to things that are connected to the body, right? So in that way, like we can understand the this one, the disease level, kitna disease level hai, and things like that. And then if the disease level is more, so then we have to intensify our treatment. So that is intensify our engagement in the angas of bhakti, right? So like here it is mentioned about like how the big politicians and leaders in the material world, they are simply not interested in spiritual advancement. So this is about the current situation. So what the shlokas talk about is, shloka talking about is like a Vedic situation. In the Vedic situation, like people were saintly kings. So now we don't have saintly kings, no? So like even there is complaint about a saintly king also. Now what to speak about normal Kali Yuga king? That is like even more worst actually. So they don't even know that spiritual advancement is necessary. So in the case of like one classic case, we know about Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj was like he was doing all his rituals and everything very nicely, and then he didn't have son. And he was so much obsessed about that, and he was like, worried about that and things like that. So, but then when he got the real sadhu sangha, so after that his whole orientation got changed. So after that, like putra hai, nahi hai, like kingdom is there, not there, like I have to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. That is like real orientation, that actually happened. So otherwise, he was a saintly king. He was a saintly king. We see that when Narad Muni and who else came? Angira Muni. So like both of them when they came, like he had the nice etiquette to receive them. He has the right etiquette to listen from them. And he even had the proper etiquette to follow their instructions and things like that. So this is a very great advancement. It is not an ordinary advancement. It's a very, very great advancement. Such a person is a saintly king. So but still he was attached to, he didn't have the son and things like that. So then he was blessed to have a son, and then like the whole this one actually happened about. So nowadays, you go to this one, like you go and meet some politician and things like that. So they calculate saying that maybe Saffron may have to like ye bhi politician banna cha rahe. So they may have a different kind of an opinion about us. So like no, yeah, like he's maybe he's having nice business. So like he's doing a nice business of sadhu business and things like that. So but they don't have any this one of treating the sadhus properly, and also like not having the etiquette of receiving the instructions from the sadhus and then following and governing according to the instructions of sadhus. So that is not there. So this ignorance is very, very prominent, that is there. So outside world to completely in ignorance. And we ourselves also like, though we are practicing the Krishna consciousness, we can see for ourselves the kind of ignorance that is actually covering us, and we should be like worried about that, and we should engage in the ilaj, for that. Actually, nothing belongs to him, and not even his body. Like nothing actually belongs to us. And it is only the ignorance, the disease of ignorance, actually makes us feel that I survey, I own a lot of things in this world. By one's karma, one gets the particular kind of body, and if he does not utilize this body to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all his activities are frustrated. The real purpose of life is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Atha Pumbit Vijashreshta Varnashrama Vibhagasha Swanishtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshana. So, like all different activities, different Varnashrama activities, so they must be performed only for Haritoshana. So, this is the Bhagavatam's version. So, if you read the version of the Karma Shastras, so they will say about you should do Varnashrama for the sake of making advancement, Artha and Kama, so that is the benefit of doing Dharma. So that this Varnashrama, following the Varnashrama is the Dharma, and then if you do that, so like you will get Artha and Kama. That's the natural output of, or the default output of the Dharma. When Dharma is performed, Artha and Kama is what is expected. But the Srimad Bhagavatam talks about you perform Dharma only for the purpose of satisfaction of Vishnu and nothing else. When the Varnashrama Dharma is performed in this way, so then it starts producing transcendental result. So that is the recommendation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it says Bhagavatam makes it appear that doing the Varnashrama Dharma for any other purpose other than pleasing the Supreme Lord is actually sinful. That is the impression Bhagavatam gives. But actually it is not sinful, it is dharmic. The Bhagavatam actually gives it like this. So because the practitioners of the Bhakti Yoga, the sincere practitioners who are aiming at attaining the lotus feet of the Lord, they should see any activity which is not performed for the pleasure of Vishnu, and ultimate goal is not attaining Vishnu, so then it is as equivalent to be sin. That's how sincere practitioners should see, and that is when he'll be able to make progress, solid progress in this path. So, with this I pass. Any discussions, comments, questions?
Thank you so much for class. Whenever we talk about Rajarshi, we have been speaking about personalities like Yudhishthira Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj, who are devotees. So here, this word Rajarshi in this context is very difficult to understand. How to
see, that is a very good, high-level definition of Rishi. Rishi in itself, what does it mean? Rishis and Munis, like many times Prabhupada equates both of them together. So Nasa Munir, yes, Matirna Binnam is there. So there sometimes Prabhupada uses the word Rishi. So Rishis are also mental speculators, and also speculators basically. So they are people who have desire for making advancement. And they have desire for making advancement. They are trying to discern the matter and spirit and things like that. But even though they may be doing all these things, but still they are caught up in the whole this one. So they are not liberated. Raja Rishis, the best examples that we give about Raja Rishis, that's not the Raja Rishi that's talked about here. So Raja Rishi is a very quite broad term. What term that we discuss about the Rishi, like Narad Muni, or this kind of Munis and Rishis that we talk about is of very definition of in the higher band of this one. So here the word that is used is of lower band, of that particular this one. So they can be sincere spiritual aspirants. So, but then their practice is not so solid that they have got out of the bodily concept of life. So in general, we see that the saintly kings like Yudhishthira Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj is quite very rare. So it is very, very rare for somebody to come to that level of advancement, being a Kshatriya. It is not at all easy thing. Not at all easy thing. So a person has to retire and then he has to perform in the renunciation only, somebody may come to that level of perfection. So this is like all unimaginable personalities. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, and all. So like it's generally this kind of cases is quite difficult to find. No, very very difficult to find. So we have Kulashekar Alvar and personalities like that. It's not no gin sakte hain in the scriptures like in the past. So generally it takes one has to perform varnashrama and then he has to like at some point in time he has to take to jnana yoga and many lifetimes he will perform jnana yoga and then that means like when he like the consciousness that Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj are there, before coming to that consciousness he would have lived many lives in a renunciation. many lives of renunciation, then somebody may come to that level of consciousness. So it is not that easy to come to that level of consciousness. So generally, like Raja Rishis, which is talked about, is personalities like these, who are nicely governing based on Varnashrama system. So, but struggling to get the jnana, of whether one is body or soul. So that thing. So that's the general scenario. Even for us, like devotees, when we don't practice our Krishna consciousness properly, or if we don't practice our airtight process, so then still we also struggle, like understanding between body and soul. And somebody just comments about our appearance or our way of doing things, we get angry, So like it's because the disease is not gone. So like I'm strongly identifying myself with this body. So then that is how I respond back, with a tough argument and things like that. So the disease has to be cured. So like Vidwan Prabhu keeps on telling that India mein expect karte hain. So they expect you to be free from disease. You talk big things, like they expect you to be free from disease. If you are diseased, why are you speaking big things? Why are you putting the sadhuvation, like going and getting all the respect everywhere and things like that? You are not free from disease. थोड़ा सा ये करने में like तुम ये चिढ़ जाते हैं. So like this one, or you are not able to give up your favorite foodstuff, So what kind of sadhu you are? Why are you talking big things, like that? So so in India, like people expect these things, They don't understand we are spiritual practitioners, So if you are talking big things, then you should also show big things, Big thing is that you should be able to show that you are free from ego. That is a big thing. You should be able to display that thing. Then you can say, no, you are sadhu. And everybody in India, like everybody thinks that I am appointed to test a sadhu. इसको टेस्ट करना है, पास ये पास है कि फेल है, like निर्णय करने के लिए मुझे लगाया. So and one time when I was going to Mayapur, like I sat in the local train. And then somebody came and shouted like anything, and then they made me stand, and they sat. I didn't understood what they spoke. So then like I was asking Mayapur, I was asking. So they tell that sadhu means you should be virakta. You should not enjoy all these things. Other people are standing. Why is sadhu sitting? You should get up. And things like that. If he fights back, if he says, if he argues anything, then they will like, they will say this is not a sadhu. Hare Krishna. Any other points or questions?
This point was that when one first comes from adharma to dharma, he gains material piety and then he gets sadhu sangha and his journey begins like that. So that means material piety forms the basis for
respect of sadhus. When they respect the sadhus, so then he gets the spiritual piety. So that's the general path. That's the path that Krishna has laid down for normal scenario. But then if sadhu sangha, if somebody gets a sadhu sangha in any level, and if he happens to respect a sadhu, and if he happens to appreciate him and listen to his words, so then even a person like Mridhari, he happened to respect a sadhu, and then he happened to follow the instructions of the sadhu. So then he makes progress.
You mentioned that Shravan and Kirtan will produce weeds.
Hmm.
It is described regarding Shravan that Hridayantasya Badrani and Nashtakaya Shukvideshu. So it should take out the bad things which are there in the heart. So how can we blame Shravan and Kirtan to produce weeds?
There is some things, it doesn't produce weeds, the seeds are already there, it just facilitates its growth. There are some things which needs diligent involvement of the spiritual master or the devotees, and some things we ourselves can weed out, and some things we need the support of spiritual master, some things the Shravan Kirtan itself will weed out. So there are different elements that are there, and different things can be removed by different processes actually. So even in Krishna Leela, there are some demons. No, only Balram kills. You know, so like that is our what is that? Pralambasur, Dhenukasur, and towards the end, like we get one Romaharshana also, and Ilvala. No, one more demon. So like there are certain things only the mercy of spiritual master can help. So like recently when we went to Delhi, like we had a discussion. There is Tattva Vibrama. No, it is there. Like sometimes the philosophical doubts, and especially like Jiva origin and things like that and all. So it is this is something like any amount of chanting cannot give you that clarity. So if you have got up in that kind of doubts, so that only the mercy of spiritual master can actually save that person. So there are certain, this one's like, that devotee was, devotee with whom we are having discussion. So he was telling this particular point. So like many devotees had philosophical discussions with him and then tried to give him good sense and things like that and all. So but then he was almost like in the verge of leaving ISKCON. And then so he went to the spiritual master. Spiritual master, like this topic did not come up at all. So he chastised him for some other reason, and all his philosophical doubts went off. And then what is that? The Jiva fall down Kamara mein jo bhi tha, like, सब clear हो गया उसका. And he started practicing normally. So like this we could not believe only, like but then so there are certain things like can be solved through certain processes only. No. So like that. So bhakti, the process of bhakti weeds out certain kind of anarthas, and then there are other diligent process that we need to also do. So like diligently we need to avoid, and then for some things we need the assistance of spiritual master. So all these things are necessary. So otherwise, like why all this paraphernalia are mentioned about, it's necessary. And if somebody takes up to Ekanga Bhakti, like only chanting 24 hours, nothing else, so then that itself will take care of everything. That is nothing else is needed. So, but that is very difficult. So that's very difficult to do. So in the normal practice of bhakti, like these things are necessary.
Regarding the kings, like other kings also, Amrish Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj, so the way they were practicing, being involved in Varnashram, but still doing Keval Bhakti. So you're saying it's not practical so much?
It is still, they were not, what is that, their discharge of Varnashrama duties was in such high level. See, whether you do Kevala Bhakti or you do Varnashrama and Bhakti, like whatever may be the case, the ultimate, this one is, what is that, ultimate judgment is brought about based on the Jnana Vairagya that you have acquired. That is the thing. So in this connection, again, I was having a discussion with Vidwan like 2 weeks back. So he was mentioning one point about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, how he made the institution. So he made like the Grahatyagis or Sannyasis or Brahmacharis, they were respected the most. And the Grahasthas, they are like, they are to be considered on the next level. But then he had one Grahastha disciple, whom he made the in charge of all the Gaudiyamats, all the 64 Gaudiyamats. No, this Grahastha is in charge. He is not a full-time Grahastha also. No? And like Bhakti Saraswati Thakur recognized him to be a very elevated person. And even if a sannyasi comes to meet Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, first he has to offer obeisances to this Grahastha, then only he can come and offer obeisances to Bhakti Saraswati Thakur. So like he even made that kind of systems where he recognized the Jnana Vairagya of people. He recognized the advancement of people. So one can be there in that kind of situation, Yudhishthira Maharaj, where he is discharging the Varnashrama duties as a Kshatriya. And then he is also discharging the duties of Bhakti, right? So, but then still, his Jnana Vairagya is so high that no other sadhus may not have that level of advancement what he is having. So if somebody like, you play the game anyway, like you made the, you got the goal, you got the result. So then, that needs to be appreciated, right? So, but in the normal sadhana process, it's not possible. It's not possible through that way. No, they are like Nitya Parshadas. No, they may exhibit like that. So, like our, Pundrit Vidyanidhi and personalities like that. So it is, they are Nitya Parshadas. Like, but then you cannot make that as a sadhana. No, like sadhana is that you practice Varnashrama and from there you develop more renunciation, and once you develop renunciation, then you take up more and more bhakti, or you take up like in the other processes jnana or like other things, you take up more. In our process, like we take up bhakti more, and then you have to give up, you have to wind up the Varnashrama at a certain point in time, right? So that's the general process, that is recommended.
So this retirement, it should come automatically, right? Because it's renunciation will be byproduct of bhakti.
Yeah.
He's engaging in.
If he performs bhakti properly and the Varnashrama properly, he will develop renunciation. If renunciation is not developed, then better like next life. So like in that life, okay, hope that renunciation may come. So if execution is proper, then renunciation will come. The natural desire, natural taste that arises in the process of bhakti, naturally renunciation also will come. These two things are simultaneous and progressive. So taste in bhakti and renunciation. So if that is not getting produced, so then we should see like where we are going wrong in the execution of bhakti, or where we are going wrong in terms of the the congregation devotees, like where we are going wrong in execution of Varnashrama duties. So like that needs to be fixed. And then if it is not possible to fix, so then also we can take up full-time bhakti. Because it's not possible to fix. If it is not possible to fix, so then it will not produce the desired jnana vairagya. So then when will I take up renunciation? When will I take up full-time bhakti? Better ditch it and not take up full-time bhakti. Like that.
Sometimes people feel that I'll continue doing bhakti, naturally renunciation will come. But to do bhakti, they don't have time. So it's a question. So they're waiting that, okay, renunciation will come, and I feel from inside and all that. There's no time to do bhakti.
Yeah. No, this was very nice, this one in the analysis, in the Bhakti Shastri preparations. Like in this analysis, it was very nice that either one package, one proper authorized package we need to perform, and that will produce renunciation. So like anywhere if it is something wrong, it will never produce renunciation actually. It will constantly. That's why we see that sometimes congregation devotees also like we say like Prabhu, it's you have sufficient and you can renounce. No, Prabhu, like why do you think I can retire? Like I'm still having age, I can work. Like that's not what the angle I asked the question. I'm telling you have age, you can do more devotional service. That angle the thought process only doesn't come. So I have to become big, I have to do something, I have to do something in the material world only it is coming. I have to do something in spiritual things is not at all coming. So when will I get back to the spiritual world? So many lifetimes I have roaming in this material world. When will I get back? So enough is enough. Like if the moment the devotee understands what is Krishna consciousness, immediately he should start winding up. And if he has not got bound still, like then better don't get up, get into the bondage and wind up again. You know, just free bird, like engage in devotional service. You know, so like no, that's what I seen like serious practitioners in Krishna consciousness, even amongst the devotees. The immediate thought process comes to them is like how to wind up. You know, I've somehow or other I've come and bounded myself with this material life. So how to wind up and how to make things simple and how to get to the full time devotional service. So that's a natural process of person who makes advancement. You know. Any other points? Okay, it's time also. Maybe one or two points you can say, share.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This point was very nice that one should be determined to attain the goal in any circumstance. If this is the case, then we'll be able to tolerate any problem in life.
As Rudy, thank you so much for amazing that. So you mentioned that as Bamboo platelets are decreasing, so again and again test is going on. Similarly, we have to test ourselves that how much material desire has came down, and how much enjoyment has came down, and how much in progressing in the path of Buddhi. So we should make this analysis to go forward. Thank you.
Excellent. So you mentioned that real orientation can only happen by association of devotees. That's how we can get fixed to the goal, otherwise we can get disoriented.
Any action that is not towards satisfying Krishna is understood that as sin or sincere practice.
Charco?
Thank you. So this point that we always get determined to attain the goal, and this is the duty of oneself also to give the goal, reoriented, emphasize that again and again as to one's individual and also as a leader. You have to really emphasize this point as you give the example of distribution. So distribution can go nicely when the goal is fixed. So you can practice something nice and go forward when the goal is fixed. The goal is only not fixed, so you cannot progress. So this point. Thank you.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.